Thanks, Chitra. So, first of all, I believe that people should be allowed to get their driving license before their majority. In fact, the SAAQ, or SAC, is really testing people hard. As a result, when you get your license, you are ready to drive. According to the website of the SAC, a person who wants to learn to drive or who wants to have his driving license have to master his distances, have good pre-driving habits, know how to turn and park well, be good at driving on highways, and know how and when to look at blind spots. So, for sure, they will have all the abilities and knowledge they need to start driving.
Yeah, but you have to know, Francis, that even with the driving skill exam, teenagers are not always psychologically ready to drive a car. For example, according to sécuritéroutière.info, most of the time, young drivers don't know their limits. Depending on an American authority study, young drivers have two big weak points. First, they drive during night most of the time, and second, they don't stress as well as an adult. That's why having only a driving skill exam can determine if someone is really ready to drive a car.
I know, Chitra, that people under 18 who have their license aren't always psychologically ready to drive. But there are many people over 18 who aren't ready either. Furthermore, the better way to gain experience and be more psychologically ready is by driving, not by doing nothing, hoping to get older and have some magical experience. Also, in other countries, like Belgium, where you can only have your driving license at 18, they face the same problem as us. Also, it's only a small percentage of young people who aren't responsible enough. A big part of them are driving well. And for those who are bad drivers, there are controlled features in place, just like the small amount of points you're allowed before losing your driving license. When you're under 18, it's 4.
Good point, Francis, but you forgot that they can also gain experience while they're driving with their parents. The SAAQ, SAC, allows persons of 16 years and older to pass a knowledge test, and if they succeed, they'll get a learner's license that allows them to drive with someone who has a driver license for 2 years and it will be available for 18 months. Therefore, they have a special rule that obligates them to have 0 alcohol in their blood. Of course, there is also driving school who can help to learn to drive in a safe way. That's how they can get more experience without being a danger for other drivers, for cyclists, and of course, for pedestrians.
It might help a bit, Chitra, but I don't think that learning to drive with someone is a good idea, because when you're gonna be alone, who is gonna help you? When those young drivers are driving with their parents or with a teacher, they might feel more confident because they're not alone. But what will happen when they will be alone? They might feel more stressed because they're not used to the situation. They can make some more mistakes, and that can eventually lead to some dangerous situations.
Oh yeah, you're right about that, Francis. But on sécuritéroutière.org, in 2006, they said that 26.8% of persons between the age of 15 to 24 were killed in a car accident. By looking at those numbers, I'm telling myself, oh my god, it's a total waste of human life.
I agree.
That exactly means that young drivers aren't ready to drive a car alone or with friends. They don't focus enough, and most of the time they're tired because, like I said earlier, they don't know their limits. Some of the young drivers really need to prove that they're responsible enough to drive a car and get a driver license.
I agree, but I think that some young people really need a car. For example, when they leave the family house, or it might help a lot their parents if there are many children in the house. Also, most of the time, they need a car to go to work or to go to school. And since they might have some busy schedule, public transport can't always offer them the services they need for a part-time worker or for a student.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think that the government should let young drivers under 18 get their driver's license.
I'm not having the same opinion than you, Francis, because even if they move away, using a car or the bus aren't the only solution to move from a point to another one. They can ride bicycle or they can use a rollerblade to go to work or to school. There is plenty other way instead of risking their lives and someone else's. For example, a young driver can be next to a lady that lost her child because of teenage driver who are racing with his or her friends.
Mm-hmm.
When she will see the young driver, what can she tell to herself? Oh no, another teenager. He or she might hit me like they killed my child. So what? What can have to happen after? She might be so stressed that she will be the one who will kill everyone. But that's because she will be afraid of the teenager. And that's why I think that the government should let people under the age of majority get their driver license. Thank you.